Hello, hello. How is everybody doing? We have kind of a chaotic house here today, so bear with me. My goddaughter's here playing with my boys, and she's gonna stay the night tonight. So we've got some extra activity going on in the background. I am just gonna share this to my personal page so that everyone knows that I am cooking my mac and cheese. This is a family recipe that my Aunt Linda passed down to me. She actually isn't related, but she might as well be. So, if you are just now tuning in, if you could share this to your personal Facebook page as well, I would appreciate it. Hello, Charity. Hi, Dad. Hi, Bree. How are you guys doing? We've got extra noise in the background today. My goddaughter is here. She's going to stay the night. So, we've got some chaos in the back, and we've got some hungry mouths to feed. I've already heard 2 or 3 requests for food, so I better get going making this mac and cheese. I also just earlier today threw some chicken breast in the crock pot with some barbecue sauce to just have some protein with our mac and cheese. For me, I just like a big bowl of mac and cheese. Hi, April. How are you? Thanks for joining me. If you are just now tuning in, if you could share to your personal Facebook page, I would appreciate it, or any groups that you know of that would like to see this video. We're just going to make our mac and cheese for dinner, and then once the kids get sat down and I eat a little bit, then we're gonna make our unicorn cookies. So I'm excited for that. I shared it to my personal Facebook page, so then I'm just gonna pull up our mac and cheese recipe and get started. April, so after I got off the phone, or after I got off Facebook on Saturday when we made those cinnamon rolls, I went downstairs to get the boys ready to head to town to give my hairdressers the cinnamon rolls. All I could smell was sewer. And I walked into my basement and it had backed up again. So I was battling with it all weekend long, but we are free of clogs. Our septic system has been pumped twice, and we are in the clear for now. So yes, everything is finally back up and running. It felt good to finally take a shower. I've done like 2 or 3 loads of laundry. It's weird how much you rely on water and don't realize it. So yes, water's back on. Hi, Trevor. How are you? Let's get started. Kingston, Skylar, we just need to tone it down just a little bit, okay? No screaming. Thank you. They're playing Roadster Racers, I think, in their vehicles over there. Okay, no more talk of it while we are cooking. Gotcha, Dad. So let's get started on this mac and cheese. You're gonna want a big pan for your pasta noodles. So fill it with, I cheat and I have really hot sink water. So I fill my pan with really, really hot water. So then when I have to boil it, it doesn't have to go very far from the boiling point. I am gonna add a little bit of salt to my water to help it boil a little faster, help the noodles not stick together as much. So I have that on. We're gonna get our water ready to boil. We are going to use, Kingston, honey, please stop. Thank you. I know you're having fun, but just not as loud, okay? Okay. We're going to try our best to keep the kids simmered down for a little bit while we get this done. Yes, Trevor, I keep this stuff on hand to make this mac and cheese. It's so easy to keep the stuff on hand that anybody that comes over and wants it, I can make it right away. So we have our water sitting here. We're going to do 1 2/3 cups of pasta noodles. So I'm just going to measure those out right away so that they are ready to go into the water when it starts boiling, because we are going to be in the middle of our cheese sauce when that water starts to boil typically. I love, in the recipe it also gives the recommendation, but I love going with the large elbow macaroni. The reason being, those big elbows let all of that nice cheesy goodness inside of them, and it just really coats the cheese, and it's amazing. And I've got the dogs acting up now too. Everybody wants to be in the spotlight today. So we're gonna do 1 2/3 cups of pasta noodles. I'm thinking that this is just gonna be the rest of my noodle box. So I have about probably about 2 cups in here. It's not an exact measurement. If you like more noodles and less cheese sauce, Gage. No. More noodles and less cheese sauce, I would go with this. If you plan on baking it, which I don't, but it is part of the recipe, then less noodles is better so that cheese, when it starts to bake, isn't overwhelmed by the noodles. Kingston! Come here, please. Thank you. Come here, please. All right, you guys. It is chaos in here today. But, so we've got our water ready. We're going to hope, so it's going to start to boil. It takes about 8 minutes for the noodles once it starts to boil. We're going to get this going. I'm going to grab some salted butter. No snacks. Thank you. Bree loves my mac and cheese. So, Kingston, honey. Kingston. If you eat that, you don't get a cookie. That's your choice. Thank you. So, we're going to start off with 4 tablespoons of salted butter. We are going to melt it in our pan. Then you don't get cookies. That's fine. You can't have both, so you can choose. Yeah, we are a little fussy today. I told you you can have it, but you don't get any cookies when we make them later. Excuse me. Okay, so you want it? No cookies later. There you go. All right, so we're going to do 4 tablespoons of butter. We're going to put our pan, or I am all over the place today, our oven on medium to low heat while the butter melts. I'm cooking, buddy. It'll be just a little bit. Say hi to everybody. Hello. Hot. Oh, sorry, you guys that's watching. This is just a rough day today, I guess. Not ready. Go get a snack from brother. Brother's got a snack. So we are going to melt our butter in our pan. We are going to grab our flour. Grayson, brother's got the snacks. No. We are going to do, once our butter is melted, we're going to stir in the next 4 ingredients. Oh, just kidding. Once the butter is melted, we're going to add our flour. Hi, Armando. How are you? Brother's got the snacks. Brother has them. So we're going to melt this butter up. No. No. It's just an adventure today, you guys. So we're melting our butter, and then we're going to add 4 tablespoons of flour. I've explained this in some of my other recipes. Hi, Crystal. How are you? No, hot. We want to have equal parts of butter to equal parts of flour, and this is going to help. Hi, Crystal. How are you? Sorry for the chaos in the background, you guys. Equal parts butter to flour, and this is going to help thicken the cheese for our macaroni. Grayson, almost done. Go play, and I'll come get you when the food's ready, okay? I'll come get you. All right. So we have our butter melted up. We're going to... I know, they're so hungry. I just got them. Well, my oldest, I just got them from daycare. The youngest just woke up from a nap. So we're going to add 4 tablespoons. Grayson. 4 tablespoons of flour. Keeping your heat on low to medium. You don't want it too hot. You don't want to burn that flour or butter in there. So we added our flour. We're going to mix it up, and it's going to create a thickening agent. Grayson, come here. What's going on? You can watch Mama cook. Here you go. We'll cook. All right. So medium to low heat. We're going to add our butter and our flour together, and we're going to mix it until it's smooth. I'll try to tilt you guys so you guys can see the burner a little bit. My water over here for the macaroni is about to boil, so you're going to want to have your macaroni ready. If you're going to throw that in there when it starts to boil, a cup of macaroni and 2/3 of a cup of macaroni. I'm just going to pour what's left in my box. It's not an exact science. You kind of tweak it the way you like it. If you like it saucier or if you like more noodles. If you are going to bake it, you should have your oven on 350 so that you can throw it in when it is done on the stove. Okay, so we have our flour and our butter mixed in here. Now we're going to add the next 4 ingredients. We're going to do a teaspoon of minced onion. Just dry minced onion from the store. We're going to do a teaspoon of it in there. We're going to do a teaspoon of salt. I don't use that much salt. I have explained that in some of my other recipes. I always feel like salt can be added afterwards, and that it's safer to just not over salt and then have people salt it if they need to. So I just do probably 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Just make sure this is on low heat still. We're just adding our ingredients slowly, so just keep it nice and low. And Grayson's cleaning up my dishes for me. So we have our onion, our salt. Then we are going to do the secret ingredient is our ground mustard. We're going to do a teaspoon of ground mustard. But before I do that, I'm going to throw my pasta in to my boiling water and set my timer. Our recipe says 10 to 12 minutes. It all just depends on which pasta you chose. My pasta says 8 minutes till tender, so I have my timer set for 8 minutes. Now we are going to do, bless you, Grayson. Now we are going to do a teaspoon of our ground mustard. Get in there. What? It's gone. What? I handed him the empty box of macaroni, and he is not happy with me that it's empty. So we're going to do a teaspoon of our mustard. And we're going to stir those 3 ingredients up, and then we're going to add our 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper. I love pepper, but 1/8 of a teaspoon is usually okay. I'm going to do a little bit more. 1/4 a teaspoon for us, because I like it peppery. There we go. So we've got our onion, our salt, our pepper, our ground mustard. So we've got that. Now we are going to slowly add our milk and increase the heat. It says slowly so that it can come up to temperature. I'm going to grab my milk. I am going to use my whole milk, but you can use low fat, skim milk, whatever percentage of fat you would like. I just have whole milk on hand from another recipe, so that's what I'm going with. Yes, yummy, yummy. It smells so good already. So we're going to slowly add our milk. I'm going to add a little bit, and then I'm going to increase my heat to high medium. And what we're trying to do, we're going to add it slowly, and it's going to thicken. As that heats up, it's going to turn into like a mashed potato consistency. Careful, Gray. Don't want to knock it. So we're just going to slowly add it. I wouldn't add any more milk until your previous milk has come up to temperature and has mixed in and thickened back up. The reason being, you want it in this consistency when we put the Velveeta cheese in there to melt up nice and good. So we got that. Like I said, it'll be a nice creamy consistency, almost like mashed potatoes. Come over here and just stir your macaroni around a bit so that it's not sticking to the bottom. We're going to add a little bit more milk and stir it up. How is everybody doing today? I did throw in just some chicken breast into the crock pot today with some barbecue sauce, and so we'll just have a side of some protein to go with our mac. I choose to just eat it by itself, but I try to give my kids a little bit more protein to eat with it. Do you want all done? You done watching? Are you done? Good job, buddy. So like I said, it thickens back up every time you add it. It's going to get thicker and thicker. You just want to make sure it stays smooth. You will have some lumps in there. That is the minced onion. So we're going to just add a little bit more milk. Keep it the temperature on medium high. Oh, I don't blame you, Crystal. I'm starting to feel like I'm coming down with a head cold of some kind. And I was thinking to myself, I'm glad I'm getting this cooking done today so that if I do end up waking up pretty sick tomorrow, that I don't feel like I need to cook anything. We'll have some leftovers to eat and yummy comfort leftovers too. Some yummy nice mac and cheese to eat up. So we have that. We're going to just turn our heat up a little bit more. Add the last bit of our milk in. Then we are going to add chunks of our Velveeta cheese and let it melt as we stir it along. So I've got my Velveeta block over here. So like I said, this thing is pretty easy to for 2 days and barely eaten. Oh man, that's no fun. You know you're really sick when your appetite goes down. So we're going to use half a pound of Velveeta. I usually use a little bit more. I kind of just eyeball it and slice it up. That's what I love about this recipe is hi Kelly, how are you? You can kind of tweak it to what your family likes, what you like. More salt, less salt, more pepper, more cheese, whatever it is. You can make some substitutions and additions. When my husband and I were first dating, he loves seafood. And so what I used to do is I would bake up my mac and cheese, and then I would cook up some lobster and put little chunks of lobster in the mac and cheese. And it was so good. You can use shrimp. You can do chicken. I've also made like a homemade hamburger helper kind of thing and thrown some ground beef in it. Woo, making a mess, you guys. Like always, I feel like anytime I'm on this show, my whole life knows it, and it just starts making messes. So that's what I like about this mac and cheese is it's super flexible. You can add whatever protein you want to it. Lobster, shrimp, ground beef, chicken, you name it, you can add it to it. Or you can just be like me and I just eat it the way it is and don't eat any protein with it and just eat some mac and cheese. So we chunked up our half pound of Velveeta cheese. This recipe does double well. Everything works out nicely. You can double it, triple it, quadruple it. I've made it for big parties before. It works really well. We're going to give our pasta another stir. Make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. Like I said, we're basically done now. I can make this as fast as I can make the Kraft box macaroni. Just make sure that you don't need your heat up too high when this starts to melt this cheese. The liquid is warm enough that it will slowly and casually melt it. You don't want to burn your cheese to the bottom. So you'll just whisk it around. I am going to come over here and just wipe up this mess right here so that I quit sticking stuff into it. Once our mac and cheese is done, you guys, I am going to hop off. I'm going to serve up the kids. Clean the kitchen up a little bit, and then we're going to make unicorn cookies. If you don't have the unicorn morsels that I found, that's fine. I am using just a basic chocolate chip cookie recipe. So you just use semi-sweet chocolate chips instead of the unicorns that I found. My goddaughter loves horses, loves unicorns, so I thought it would be a kind of a nice treat since she was staying the night to do some fun unicorns. Those kids are having too much fun. They're going to be working up an appetite. They're probably not even going to want to stop playing to eat some food. Hi, Kingston. Hi. So our noodles are done. I'm going to grab out my strainer. I'm going to place it in the sink and let my noodles strain the water out. Just leave them in your strainer. So I'm going to set my pan right here off to the side. Is this what you want? my Christmas tree, Crystal, it's kind of up. So it's up. I'm in the process of like separating out the branches and lifting them and moving them. They don't have any ornaments on them or anything like that. The whole top of the tree is still kind of like unsorted. You can see it doesn't even look like it's a part of the tree. Oh no, they're being mean to poor Grayson. I'm starting to get my Christmas decorations up. The reason being, we are taking a week and a half long vacation during Thanksgiving, and so I want to be able to come home from Thanksgiving and have most of the heavy lifting and hard work done, and then I'll do some of the last minute decorations when December hits. And then my grandma is actually coming to visit for the first time since I've lived in North Dakota, which is going on 10 years now. She's coming for Christmas, and I'm super, super excited. So I wanted to go all out for her. So I've been decorating and trying to find, just some blank spots in the house that need decoration spot for it. I've never gone all out before, so I've got to buy a couple of cool things from like Home Goods and stuff. So yeah, my son is really excited. I got this. Last year we got discounted this huge inflatable bear at Home Depot, and we got it for like 75% off after Christmas last year, and that's what started it. He wanted that outside. I'm like, sure, why not? Like, it's not super Christmassy. It's just a big bear, blow up bear, and it's actually like fuzzy that goes outside and it gives hugs and lights up. So we put that up, and then I'm like, well, if I'm going to pull everything out of storage, I might as well start just pulling stuff out and putting everything back into storage with Christmas stuff out and go along with it. Yes, my grandma, I am blessed. I do have one grandma left. One other grandma passed away, and then actually my grandpa. So I have one on either side. So I've got a grandpa on my dad's side and a grandma on my mom's side. So works out. I have a little bit left. So our cheese is done. The way you know is, Kristen, honey, can you play race cards in the living room, please? Thank you. So, oh, I don't even want to imagine not having any of my grandparents. It'd be so sad. So our cheese is done. The way you know is our Velveeta blocks that we cut up, they are all completely melted. So I'm going to go over here and grab our macaroni noodles. I'm going to give them a little shake in the strainer to get the last little bit of water out. Dump them. Any of you guys ready for my favorite part? We just dump the cheese in. So that's it, you guys. If you want to bake it, you can. You just stick it into a casserole dish, and a 2-quart casserole dish, and you bake it for 30 minutes. That will bake up the cheese. It will make it not ooey gooey, sloppy. It will bake it up, make it nice and neat to serve. Really good for like barbecue dishes and stuff like that. But I love mine saucy, ooey gooey deliciousness, and I don't have the patience to wait for it to bake for 30 minutes. But yeah, Crystal, when it comes to those large elbow noodles, there's water that's still inside of those elbows. So I just give it a little shake to get some of that excess water out. But other than that, I just don't try too hard. It doesn't really affect it too much. What I like about these big elbow noodles, you guys, is just sucking up all that cheese inside of those elbows. So, so good. So give it a nice stir. Make sure all the noodles get nice and cheesy. That's it, you guys. Hi, Amber. How are you? Yes, Anastasia, it heats really, really well. The only thing that I recommend, especially if you do bake it, just add a little bit of milk in when you pop it into the microwave. If you're using the oven, it reheats even better. If you do it that way, you don't have to add any additional liquid to it. Honestly, there's never, unless I intentionally make extra for leftovers, there's never really any leftovers to deal with. But that was it, you guys. That was the mac and cheese. We're done. Other than clean up, that was it. We made it all. I'm going to serve it to the kiddos. I'm going to get them sitting down and eating. get my kitchen cleaned up, and then we're gonna pop back on and make cookies quick before it gets too late. So thanks for hanging out with me. I'll be probably back on, my goal is gonna be 6:30, so just look out for that. I will share it again on my Facebook page and the What's for Dinner group. And thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. It is so delicious. I hope somebody has a chance to make it sometime soon. If you do, please, please, please post a picture on my page. I will post a picture with our meal on there, and you can always comment your picture in the description, in the comment section if you make it. It is so good, you guys. Like, so good, so easy. I'll turn this light off so that you can see the cheesy goodness a little better. So good, so cheesy, so delicious. Like I said, if you want to bake it, go for it. You stick it in a 2-quart casserole dish. You can sprinkle some breadcrumbs on it. You can do what I did and add shrimp or lobster to it and bake it in there. Honestly, it's to die for. My friend Bree is commenting, "Hi Sheila, how are you?" She hates leftovers and she will eat this leftover all day long. So it's amazing. It's good. It's delicious. It's warm. It's cozy. It would go awesome with some fried chicken. We're going to do barbecue chicken tonight. It goes good with barbecue food. Just awesome, awesome. So I'm going to pop off here, get these kiddos fed, get my kitchen cleaned up a little bit, and then we're going to come back on and make some chocolate chip cookies with unicorn chips. So thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.